Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we begin this 5 o'clock hour with breaking news from Washington as you're watching live what's happening inside the House chamber as members debate 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump.
We are seeing 2 very different scenes unfolding at this hour, both involving, of course, the president.
Because now let's look at live pictures from Battle Creek, where President Trump is expected to hold what they're calling a Merry Christmas rally. It is already a raucous crowd over there, and it's a few hours ahead of the event. All of this happening as the House debates is impeachment.
We're following both these stories tonight, but we want to start in Washington and Alice Barr following today's historic hearing.
Good evening. After months of investigation, lawmakers clashed today in one final impeachment debate. And in a deeply divided House, not much has changed in the arguments since day one. The weight of history hangs over the U.S. Capitol today as the House holds its final vote on the impeachment of President Trump.
Today, we are here to defend democracy for the people.
One by one, representatives speaking in support or opposition.
Today is going to be a lot of things. What it is not is fair. What it is not is about the truth.
All with an eye toward the legacy of impeaching an American president for only the 3rd time.
Dear Ellie and James.
Congressman Joe Kennedy reading a letter telling his children why he's voting yes.
He broke our laws. He threatened our security.
Democrats hold the majority in the House, and nearly everyone is expected to vote to impeach the president for abusing his power and obstructing Congress. President Trump watching and fuming, tweeting, "Can you believe I will be impeached today?" Democrats insisting the case against him is clear.
The president committed constitutional crimes. The president's crimes are impeachable.
While Republicans line up solidly to defend President Trump.
I believe this is the most unfair, politically biased, rigged process that I have seen in my entire life.
A process now being written into history, with the Republican-controlled Senate eager to begin the next chapter.
Clerk will call the roll.
The Senate Majority Leader is promising a speedy trial next month, expected to end in acquittal, keeping President Trump on the job. On Capitol Hill, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, live look again now inside the House chamber. We will keep monitoring these remarks as they go back and forth. Any new developments should occur, we will take you right back to Washington, but we will continue to stream the hearing live right here on clickondetroit.com as we start to get to other stories. Now, the president, while that's unfolding there, the president is going to be back here about 600 miles away in Michigan for a rally in Battle Creek.
Mara McDonald is live at Kellogg Arena tonight, where President Trump is set to take the stage in just a few hours. Mara.
Kimberly, you know, they have just started to allow people to come into Kellogg Arena. They have been waiting out in the cold for hours this afternoon. We got here at 2 o'clock. There were already thousands of people in line. And as you might imagine, Trump supporters here aren't looking too kindly upon the impeachment hearings going on in D.C.
Okay.
Plenty of Trump souvenirs being sold to the thousands already in line for hours this afternoon, hawking everything from hats to chair blankets. But most were dressed for the cold, although not necessarily with the flair of David Morris, who drove in from Ann Arbor.
I think it's super important because it shows he's still devoted and he's still motivated, even though all this crap's going on, all this impeachment, stupid stuff. You know, even though nothing's going to happen. We'll see him next 4 years.
The House impeachment vote was top of mind.
I'm appalled. I'm appalled that the president is being treated with such disrespect.
But those standing out here say they want to hear from the president himself tonight.
I know you guys are from the news, so take this with a grain of salt. I want to hear what he has to say from his mouth, unedited, uncut. You know, I don't want to hear just what the media is trying to tell me, so I came to hear what he has to say.
Back here live inside the Kellogg Arena, I want to show you something. Eric, can we pan and show the press pit here? We're on double risers up here, and this should give you an idea of the state, national, and international press that is here tonight. They all really want to hear what the president has to say. We're live in Battle Creek. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara, and certainly a lot going on from the Capitol in Washington and out in Battle Creek. We'll be monitoring both of these events and streaming the president's rally tonight right here on clickondetroit.com as soon as it gets underway. And we continue to monitor the House of Representatives, of course, as we wait on an official vote on the 2 articles of impeachment. We're streaming this live right now here on Click on Detroit as well. Again, we are expecting a vote later tonight.
Massive story shaping up on the automotive front today. For the 4th time in a generation, Chrysler has a new ownership group. This morning, the company inked a deal joining Peugeot of France with the Italian automaker Fiat. Chrysler creating a global automotive behemoth. Business editor Rob Maloney live tonight in Auburn Hills with a look at what this is going to mean for us here in Metro Detroit. Rod.
Devin, never a dull moment out here at the tower in Auburn Hills. And the Chrysler employees don't even know the name of the new company they're going to be working for. They haven't decided that one yet. But still, this is as uneventful a merger as they've ever had, because what we're hearing is there won't be any job cuts and there won't be any plant closings. When Carlos Tavares on the left here, who will become the new CEO, and FCA CEO Michael Manley signed the deal, they created the world's 4th largest automaker. Significant, says Autoline analyst John McElroy.
This combination of Peugeot and Fiat Chrysler, they're going to be bigger than General Motors. They're going to be bigger than Ford.
Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Peugeot, Citroën, Opel, and Vauxhall are now all under one roof. In mergers like this, executives speak of money-saving efficiencies that often don't materialize, as Chrysler's workforce has seen. Still, McElroy believes this one is different, since Jeep and Ram are the true prize here.
Fiat doesn't make any money. Maserati doesn't make any money. Alfa Romeo doesn't make any money. Chrysler makes all the money. Peugeot is not going to want to kill the golden goose.
Manley already has plans he couldn't implement under FCA alone, a mid-sized Ram pickup like the Ford Ranger or Chevy Colorado.
There's a fabulous opportunity, I think, in the merger for PSA and FCA to make sure that portfolio is fully filled.
Still, there is one important part of the globe where the new company must make its mark.
I think there's going to be another partner at somewhere down the line, because even if you put Peugeot and Fiat Chrysler together, they don't have a very big presence in China. That's a weakness that they're going to have to address.
So they just signed the agreement today. There is still much heavy lifting to do, and they're saying it's going to take as long as 12 to 15 months to actually finish the merger. Back to you.
Well, what you mentioned about plants and jobs has got to be really good news to the UAW. They had any remarks yet about this merger, though, Rod?
Yeah, well, Devin, it wasn't a ringing endorsement of the merger, but they did say that they believe that there are going to be opportunities, bigger opportunities, that they think can grow this company, which can in the end mean more UAW jobs, and so they're glad to see that.
Yeah, all right, obviously a lot more reaction to come.
Yeah, indeed. All right, a standoff between Detroit police and a barricaded gunman on the city's east side is now at its 31st hour.
This is happening on Pelkey Street near Shaner. Police have talked with the man. We're told Detroit Fire was called to come and flood the home with water in an attempt to get the man out. Police say this all started, though, when the man shot at his neighbors yesterday morning. So police right now still asking residents there to stay indoors until the situation is resolved.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer was in Detroit today to announce a new effort to reduce poverty in Michigan. Whitmer signed an executive order to create the Michigan Poverty Task Force. The task force will work to understand what needs to be done to help Michigan families that are struggling and best use government resources to help them. Whitmer says a 2018 study found 1 in 5 Michigan kids live in poverty, and this is about more than parents putting food on the table for their children.
Every parent should be able to drop them off with confidence they're going to get the education they need to be successful, and to be able to go to a good paying job and come home at night and put their head on the pillow knowing that they're in a safe, clean home.
The task force will consist of State Department officials and legislators from urban and rural areas impacted by poverty.
Neighbors on Detroit's east side band together to fight against blight, but also against the city.
But after a neighborhood cleanup, they didn't get a thank you from the city of Detroit. Instead, they got blight tickets. Today was the day those neighbors had to head to court. And when our Sean Lay began asking questions, those tickets, Sean, they were dismissed.
As soon as everyone got to Blight Court, the tickets were dismissed. Very interesting case here, guys. First of all, we came out here first thing today to look at a 3-block area on the east side. This is Fisher. It's absolutely immaculate. You have neighbors here that really care about their streets. In September, they held a big cleanup, vacant lots, alleys over there, cutting through all the brush. Yes, it was a successful cleanup, but on the same day, an inspector came out and started issuing all these blight tickets after the cleanup.
We shouldn't have to show up at City Hall with cameras to have the right thing happen.
The Burns Seneca Fisher Block Club members on the city's east side love their east side neighborhood, and they keep it neat, clean, tidy, and safe. In September, a big alley cleanup was held. It was a smashing success, and the city did not thank the residents. In fact, they were slapped in their faces 18 times.
It was not a thank you. It was thousands of dollars worth of fines for residents.
That's right. Neighbors were shocked to get 18 blight tickets, all written the same day as the cleanup from the same city inspector. Katie Marino-Elst got 2 blight tickets that day. Was there ever an explanation given why these tickets were given out?
No. The neighbor 4 houses down from me got one for a lidless trash can.
Today, Katie and neighbors had to go to Blight Court, and they came to fight the tickets. When Local 4 asked the city about those tickets, all of them were dismissed.
How do you make sense of nonsense? Especially when one of the inspectors knew that it was an organized cleanup.
The district manager for the area says this was a breakdown in communication. One department knew of the cleanup. The inspector apparently did not.
That happens. It's a large city, it happens, but guess what? We made it right, and so that's all that matters to me.
We don't need you guys to show up every time. This stuff should just happen.
All right, we're back here live. The Block Club tonight is saying, look, the tickets are gone today, but this happened on September 11th, and they have been talking to the city, different departments, going to meetings the whole time, explaining the situation, saying, why did we get these tickets? But they go today and they get them dismissed. But Kimberly, some of the Block Club members are saying this is making them a little shy about doing anything else. They don't want any more tickets.
Yeah, I mean, and you've been talking to them all day, Sean. The neighbors, are they satisfied with what happened today?
They're not satisfied with the conduct of the inspector that was here. They said he was combative, he was rude, didn't want to listen, issued the tickets, they believe, for real no reason at all. So they want to continue focusing on the inspector's actions that day.
Sure. All right, more to come. We appreciate it, Sean.
An investigation is underway after a semi-truck rollover accident in Springfield Township. We've got video from Sky 4 of the scene. The intersection of East Holly Road and Dixie Highway remains closed at this hour. Both the semi and a car were involved in the crash. Both drivers were injured, though we await word on the extent of those injuries, and we will let you know just as soon as the road is open again, right here on clickondetroit.com.
What a blustery kind of day today.
Brutal outside today compared to where we've been.
Yeah, one of those days where you just want to crawl back in bed and say, nah, maybe tomorrow. But I'll tell you, when we woke up and saw that snow, it may be the last time we see that for a while.
Just the chances of a white Christmas getting less and less rather than
they're
better and better.
Close to zero here, but you may want to shovel some of that in the freezer and maybe spread it on the lawn on the 25th. And just sort of pretend, because it doesn't look like we have any chance, any appreciable chance of seeing precipitation or of snow for that matter as we get through the next several days. 18 as we look out over Ann Arbor. You can see a little bit of the snow still left out there, but 16 mile-an-hour winds, so it takes that 18-degree air temperature and makes it feel like 3 degrees. So we really haven't changed much as far as how it feels outside. At least those temperatures came up a little bit from this morning. We're at 18 whopping degrees right now, well below average, which is in the low 30s for this time of year. 14 in Pontiac, and we're seeing a lot of mid-teens across the area. Wind chills much different, not only zeros, but we've seen at least a couple negative wind chills at times this afternoon, and most likely that's going to continue, although the winds are going to start subsiding as we get into tonight. But it is going to be the coldest night of the forecast, so the temperatures are actually going to be lower tonight than what we woke up to this morning. You can see the direction of the winds, all that northwest cold Canadian air starting to sweep through. There were some lake effect snow bands sort of brushing the thumb. Those are pretty much done. 4 Live radar shows maybe just a couple flurries left up there in Sanilac County, but nothing appreciable as far as accumulation goes. And once that gets out of here, we're pretty much done with precipitation until after the Christmas holidays. So high pressure takes over in the short term, and then we've got this system that starts to move onto our doorstep on Thursday. But look at this, it's coming through completely dry. It's red, we marked it as a warm front because there are going to be milder temperatures coming after that front. In fact, we've got a string of 40s we're going to put together, 9 straight days of above average temperatures starting on Friday. But not tonight, because look at these lows. 13 in the city, 10 is what we'll see for an official low. And if the metro zone is that cold, that means single digits for a lot of the areas outside of Detroit, and that is certainly the case. 6 to 11 is what we're expecting in the south zone. West zone numbers are going to be just about the same. Remember, the winds are going to be lighter, so there's not going to be a whole lot of difference between those air temperatures and how it feels outside. But still, this cold, there could be 0 wind, and that is still a bitter cold. Anywhere between about 7 and 13 is what we're expecting there in the north zone for lows tonight. It will be warmer in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll see a decent amount of sunshine. Temperatures, though, still not to the freezing mark. And then here come the 40s just in time for winter on Saturday. And that's going to take us all the way into Christmas Eve. Slightly cooler Christmas Day with that 39-degree high. But there's nothing in that 7 days, rain or snow. It's all dry.
Yeah, it's just about here because that takes us right to Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Get through tonight, coldest part, and then it's smooth sailing.
Well, that's going to do it for our slightly truncated version, our online version of Local 4 News at 5. We're going to keep watching what's happening both in Washington and over in Battle Creek.
Yep, and check back with us right here at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.